to the left, so there could be light down there that you can't see. What you can tell is basically just inside the door, there is a notch where there is an unlit sconce just sitting there. So you get the feeling that if anyone goes down there, they grab this, light it, and walk down the stairs. That's a basic like process that somebody would take going down here, just because of its being like perfectly positioned right next to the door. Cool. So I'll get back to you. You went up the stairs. So up the stairs, I'm not going to lay out a whole other map for upstairs just yet unless you start going inside of rooms. But you basically have a large entry, like a landing way, and there's basically a walkway that goes kind of around the first and this big hall entry, and it kind of goes around, and then there's doors coming off. So if you like go up and you turn, there's some hallway there and some doors. Hallway there, some doors. There's about 1, 2, 3, 5 doors up here. And
thank you.
Awesome.
And behind one of these doors, you hear ominous cheering.
Yes. Ominous, or does it call to you like, "Ooh, I should go where they're cheering for me"? All the doors are different from the ones downstairs because they're more like wooden, carved, a little bit more ornate. They're all closed as well. And then if you want to go check them to see like which ones have light or which ones are locked versus unlocked, that's also an action available to you. So I'm going to get back to you. Think about what you want to do upstairs. You were first one in the row, so you grabbed a sconce and you are now in the dining room, and you can see the same thing.
Yeah, I wanted to light a sconce in the dining room.
Okay, so you're going to light up one of the wall sconces here in the dining room so that there's light.
Specifically towards the kitchen.
Cool.
Going towards the kitchen.
You're going to go light that. And you see your friend having already gone through the doorway.
Right.
In this kitchen, you see that it's a decent-sized kitchen, probably made to like feed enough people. It has outdoor windows and a door that is open to
The outside. Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
So there's 2 people. In the kitchen, the 2 people, one is a big dude by the stove, the green one. That is a dragonborn. So, folks who are new, dragonborn are a race where they're humanoid, they walk upright, but they look like a walking dragon. They've got scales, they've got long snouts, think like a dinosaur, sideways eyes, big teeth. Tail. The only thing they don't have is wings. They do not have wings, but they do have the tail, clawed hands, all that good stuff. So that's a dragonborn by the stove, doing some food prep work. There's a little halfling, the white one is a little halfling. Halfling are a little bit shorter than dwarves, and they are, I mean, if you watch, I'm going to go back to Lord of the Rings, this is one everybody knows. They're basically the hobbits. So short, light-footed, very good with like quick little like building things, farming, houses, that kind of stuff. This one to you looks on the young side, maybe a kid, and you get the feeling that they're basically being told what to do by the Dragonborn, running and grabbing stuff, bringing it back. So they're sort of the Dragonborn's helper. Yep.
What do Dragonborns, do they just speak common?
Yes, Dragonborns can speak common. Because the other language they know is actually a language called Draconic, which is the language of dragons themselves. Oh, and that is a green Dragonborn, by the way. That's again the green color. Because Dragonborns, their scales can be colored just like real life dragons are colored.
Do the colors mean anything, or are they just colors?
In the case of Dragonborn, it doesn't really mean much, but it does tell you that whatever dragon blood they're descended from was a green dragon. And green dragons have specific, the different colors for dragons mean they have specific elements. So in the case of green is poison.
But do the Dragonborns get any of that, or is it more of just an aesthetical thing?
Mostly an aesthetic. They can about like once or twice a day kind of muster up some of their like innate abilities and use it to maybe do like a breath attack every once in a while, and they get natural like immunities. So a green dragonborn is naturally resistant to being poisoned, because green dragons are, elementally poisoned, so they don't really get poisoned easily. Whereas like a red dragon is a fire dragon, so a red dragonborn is naturally resistant to being burnt. That kind of stuff. They like half notice you as you walk in, but you can tell that they're very focused on whatever they're doing. So they're kind of like, it's like, yeah, there's somebody there, but I'm still running around back and forth.
I go pour myself a pint, and I approach the green dragonborn and ask what's for dinner.
All right, you're gonna get a pint from like the storage stuff from here. You'd have to go looking for a canteen. It's kind of hidden underneath like flour and potatoes and all that fun stuff. The little halfling will look at you, be like, "Don't mess with my stuff. I have organized here." No, what do you want? Oh, drink. Okay, here, canteen. And the dragonborn will look up at you briefly and be like, "What? What'd you say?"
Ask him again, what's for dinner?
It's what we've been having forever, okay? Potatoes, gruel. Potatoes, gruel. There ain't so much here, okay? Just live with it. And then he's going to turn to the halfling like, "Sophia!" Oops. Sorry, I'm used to doing this in my own house where it doesn't matter if I shout at the top of my lungs. Be like, "Sophia, you're missing the flour again. This is bread flour, not wheat flour."
I kind of ignore their argument and proceed outdoors with my pint.
Okay, so the outdoor door is past them, and you see yourself in what looks to be a porch side urban area. There's like a little like river right there and courtyard walking area.
Is it day or night?
It is very strange. There's light, so you're pretty sure it's day, but it's not that like sunlight is here and it's like noon. It's like a general ambient, enough light to be able to see. And you notice, go ahead and make a perception check for me. 17. So you're looking around, you're like, okay, the city, what kind of city? You're trying to figure out what city you're in. You're like, it's kind of foggy. Like, you can see that there's buildings in the distance, but you can't really like make out how many there are. Their shapes are kind of blurred. The water is in front of you and it's flowing, but it's kind of like the sound is really muffled. You'd expect if you were in a city, you'd hear people, horses, carts, noises. It's pretty like muffled and quiet. Like there's some sort of noise, but it's just like way too deafened almost. Like it's coming through some sort of pillow or something, you can't really hear. So I'm gonna get back to you. You came through, you lit the sconce in this dining room, and now you go into the kitchen, I assume?
Well, I didn't know it was lit, so I'm going to put the sconce back.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go in the kitchen. So
Sconce back.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then I'm going to find something to eat and eat it.
All right. Mostly things to eat are like uncooked pantry supplies. So potatoes, dried corn, some. What do you have sitting in your pantry that's in this time of year? That time of decade?
You mentioned flour. And,
Yeah. Those are like, they haven't been cooked yet or processed, like mostly unprocessed, but things that are ready to eat are like, potatoes, dried vegetables like corn. You might find, like, if you keep digging, despite Sophia's annoyance, you might find like a bowl of fruit or something.
Cheese? Lots of cheese.
Cheese is actually not kept here. Cheese is kept in the, if any of you know anything about kitchens, it's kept in a cool box to protect it.
Cool box downstairs. Where it's damp
I'm
and cold.
disappointed. I am disappointed that there's no food on my side.
Okay.
We haven't hit rage yet.
Just sighing. Just sighing.
Not this close.
All right.
I'm going to walk outside next, though. I don't know if I have time to do that.
Yeah, we'll get you out there by the time I get back around.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, top of these stairs. Would you like to go down or check out something else?
I think I'm interested in going downstairs.
All right, you're gonna go downstairs. Are you gonna go
I'll
with her?
follow, yeah.
All right.
If she's taking the lead.
Both of you go in there.
Listen, there's a survivalist and there's not a survivalist. I want her to go first.
All right. So hallway goes down, then it turns. Okay. And down there, you guys are gonna go around the corner, I assume.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure people took my stuff. The thing is, I have like 3 different boxes of things, of these type of tiles, and when stuff happens, they get moved around, unfortunately. So I'm gonna go with some of these guys. Okay.
Just remember when you're sleeping and you're on watch, you can hand her a note that says, "I attacked the party." It's good. It disrupts the game a little. This is a move for the barbarian.
That's right.
All right.
Unfortunately, I'm a good guy, so I don't think I can do that.
All right.
Unless they're doing something to nature.
So there's 2 things down here that are of interest. It does look like there's some like stuff being stored here, but 2 main things. At the end of the hall, there is this hatch-like thing into the floor, and on that side are iron bars in what you feel is probably a prison.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to go check out and see what's going on with the prison.
In the prison, all right. In this prison, there is a faint bit of light, like a small single candle bit of light, and a creature. I'm gonna steal one from over there.
Take one of the early birds.
A brain. He's the brain.
And they find the satellite in the prison. We have now broken into sci-fi.
In all honesty, I should use it. The satellites as bad guys. All right. In this prison is a lone creature. It is a there's a race called kobold. They kind of look like short lizard folk. They've got like green or blue skin, long pointy faces. In your past experience, for you guys, because you guys have done this, you're level 3, so you've been out adventuring for a while. In your past experience, kobolds are like, kind of like minion characters. They gather in groups. Sometimes they'll attack a nearby village to like get supplies. They tend to hang out on their own. They do like things like treasure. So sometimes when you're like looking for lost treasure, you'll come across a group of kobolds that are like hiding the treasure and hoarding it. So then you might have to like fight them or scare them off in order to get the treasure that you're looking for. They're not very like tough to fight or anything. They can be annoying in large groups. But there's just one kobold in there, and you hear that he's actually kind of crying.
In what language do they speak?
They speak both common and, I believe, Gnomish.
Can I say, so what are you in for?
He's gonna look up to you guys and be like, what do you mean?
Can I prestidigitation a small gold coin in my hand and like kind of offer it and like to try and make him more comfortable?
Okay, so prestidigitation that he just cast is a magical ability. Kind of a spell, but it's something called a cantrip that you can kind of do like very quickly. You don't necessarily need like a lot of magic to do. And it can create little things, create little like effects, mostly illusionary. But yes, you can.
And to be clear, I don't want to like just hold it up because he's gonna touch it and see
then-
it's an illusion,
yeah.
right? So like maybe
Like kind of hold it up in your finger like, I got a
Yeah.
coin for you if you speak to me.
right.
Okay, yes, you may do that. And now go ahead and make a roll, because now you're doing what's called a persuasion. So you're trying to persuade him to do something that you've asked.
Is that also wisdom?
It is charisma based.
Oh, sweet. Got a +3. That's an 18. That's a 21.
21. First above 20 roll. That's a good, getting above 20 on a check like that, fantastic. There's also something called, if you get a natural 20, so you roll and it lands on 21st, that's called a critical or natural 20. And it means you did really well. In fights, it usually means you can like add extra damage, that kind of stuff. So if you get a 20, that's why a lot of people have like little insignias being like D20. And then there's also the opposite. If you land on a 1, that's a natural fail or a critical fail. That's not the fun one. 20 and 1. Okay. So he's gonna like squint at you and be like, I'm not here for anything. I didn't do anything wrong. They just took me off the street. I didn't want to be here. I just wanted... Leave me alone.
Kill him.
Oh my god.
Us two over there having a weird discussion. I think we found what's for dinner.
I think I look at you and I go,
No, we don't know
Buying
what's
this?
going on down there.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
If you're not sure and you want to check if someone's telling the truth or not, there's a roll called an insight roll. And that goes off of your wisdom. I'll be right back.
Okay.
do you have good wisdom?
16 plus 3.
+3. It's better than my +0. You wanna?
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
If you guys are doing something and like, for example, like you rolled poorly, you can help him. Even though I'm far away from what's happening, can I still help?
No. You have to actually, like, think about if you're actually
Yeah,
helping your friend in
exactly.
something.
You
If
can't
you're
just
in
get
2
extra
rooms
lights.
over, yeah, you can't really help.
Self-instinct didn't exist in this world.
Yes. I mean, hey, if you've got something like a sending stone that lets you talk to each other across distances, maybe. That's another thing you would bring up. But alas, you are not there. You don't even know what they're doing. You actually, all of you guys are kind of separate, so you have no idea what the other group is doing at all. Alright.
Okay.
So would you like to make an insight roll?
Yes.
So go ahead and roll a d20.
Okay. 11.
That was
11 +3 is 14.
14. Okay. So you're looking at this creature. You've come across them before. You know how they are pretty well. I mean, you've mostly fought them, so your natural instinct is to be like, yeah, whatever. But looking at him, actually, he does seem pretty upset, and he was crying before you guys even got in there. And you do know one thing, they're not normally alone. So he might be truly upset about something. You don't know if he's telling the truth about whether he deserves to be in here or not. He just said he was yanked, but you know that he's truly upset.
Well, I'd like to ask him a question.
Go for it.
Do you know who captured you?
Yeah, some big dudes in armor, kind of like soldiers. Yeah. They didn't even tell me what's going on. They just like put a hood over my head and grabbed me. And they were bigger than me, so I couldn't really fight them. Also, I can't really fight them if it's just me. I'm kind of small. Yeah.
Do we want to free him or leave him?
Well, maybe, can we strike a deal with him?
In what way?
We'll free him if he can. I want to know more about where we are, but also maybe a safe route out.
If he got a hood on his head though when he was brought in, he doesn't know.
And what I'm going to assume is you guys are going to kind of step away from his cell, have this conversation.
Yeah.
So you guys kind of
Yeah.
talk sidebar it, talk it out.
Yeah.
You're going to switch. You're okay. So upstairs, what would you like to do?
I'm around all of this. See, I have this dark vision too, so maybe like the first dark door I come across, go poke in there.
Okay, you're gonna go. So we're gonna say you're gonna start from the right side of the hallway. So go up. First dark door you come across. It looks to be. It is unlocked. So you go ahead and open it. It looks to be some sort of bedroom. There's a bed, a sitting area, a nightstand. The fireplace in this bedroom, that's against the back wall, is doused out, so there is no fireplace going, so it's pretty dark in here. And there is a window looking to the outside.
Can I go look out the window?
You can. Looking out the window, you see kind of similar to what I explained to them before. There is light coming in from outside. It's a very like ambient light that you can't really determine where the source of the light is from. It seems to be like you kind of have an overlook of like a city. You can see some like a distant port, but you don't really see people walking around on the street down below. And yeah, it kind of has that same haziness. You can't really see the building next to you very well. It's a bit far, but you can't really see what's going on around you.
And then are there like any pictures or letters or anything on the nightstand that would tell me more about what's going on?
So that is going to be a investigation check. So because you're going to investigate the nightstand for stuff. So go ahead and roll your d20. And do you see under intelligence, INT?
12 plus 3, so 15.
15, okay. Fantastic. So one sec, let me look this up real quick. Okay, so in this drawer, in this nightstand, you see a couple things, and you get the idea that this could be a young boy's bedroom. There is some like stuffed toys, random crumpled up bits of note paper. There's definitely a decent amount of dust on things. It seems like it hasn't been touched in a while. You can if you uncrumple the paper, you can see like kind of like messily scrawled notes, and you can't really tell what's being said. It looks like it's like some sort of like, you know how kids pass notes to each other, so it's like conversation, half conversation. All you can tell is like the note at the bottom has been signed by somebody named Tavin, but there seems to be like some sort of conversation between kids. They're like, oh my god, can you believe this happened? Or who's there? Like, who found out? That kind of thing. Okay.
Like, think about that for a bit.
Cool. That's the room. You guys downstairs, outside.
So did you say that was a creek out there?
Yeah, there's like a waterway so this house seems to be sitting up against this like small river, and it seems to be going, the water is flowing off to your left.
So my character sheet says I'm good at finding food and fresh water. So I'd like to see if there's fish in the water.
Okay. What you will then do is actually, in all honesty, what you do is stick your hand in the water, feel it, kind of pick up and see like, okay, is it clean at least? You'll take some in a little jug and sniff it and stuff like that. It seems like it's clean. There's definitely no like sewage, thankfully, so the city is not using this.
There's nowhere to go from here other than, well, can I just jump in the creek and go downstream?
You certainly can. Would you like to try jumping in?
Let's do it.
You're going to jump in the water. It's not very deep, so you are actually able to stand like on your tippy toes. So it's not like it's going to like, you dive in, it's going to sweep you away. You can stand on your tippy toes. There's a bit of a current, so you can feel it. So you'll just sort of like tippy toe follow the current down to the left. As you do so, you get to just out of what you can see in sight, and then you find yourself right back next to your companion. dry as a bone.
Do I still have my pint?
Did you take it in the water with you?
That's a good question. let's assume I left it there and I picked it up again
Nope, you
and
didn't.
sighed.
As soon as you put it down, I grabbed it.
Double sigh.
The pint cup is still there, if it is indeed empty, but the thing is still there, just nothing in it.
I'm gonna refill in the kitchen and meander my way back to the central Great Hall.
Okay, cool. All right, you guys, sidebar. What was your decision made?
I want to investigate the trapdoor.
Okay.
I say to what's your name, Clipper?
Yeah.
Say to Clipper, like, maybe this is food for something, and I want to open the trapdoor and see if there's some great beast down there or something like that.
So the trap door is in fact locked with a padlock.
Okay.
So you are not able to open it.
My gut is to just Eldritch Blast it, but is there a more subtle way to do this?
There is, anyone can attempt to pick a lock. It uses a skill check that is based on dexterity. So if you see DEX, that's dexterity. So you can
+2.
attempt to
I'll give it a try.
Attempt to
Try
pick a
to
lock.
pick a lock. That's a nat 1. Do I do it on a nat 1?
So on a nat 1, you pick this padlock out. You're like, okay, I think I know how to do it. Basic concept, right? You stick a thing, you stick a thing. You're gonna put some pins that you have. You're gonna put it in there, and you're like jiggle, jiggle. Your pins break, and you're like, well, that lock is impeccable.
I raise my hands in frustration and bring them back down with an Eldritch Blast to just blast the padlock off. I'm done. I've had enough.
Okay, this is fantastic. This is a great intro to how to do attacks and damage and fight in general. So, most of you guys who are non-magic users, the way you attack things is with either your hands or a weapon. So I think on your sheet somewhere it should say what kind of weapons you have, whether it's bow, sword, you probably have like an axe or something.
I've got a great sword, 2 hand axes, and 3 javelins.
Yeah, most people have multiple weapons on them. Not as many as the barbarian probably, but they probably have multiple weapons on
I'm
them.
not sure how I'm carrying all this stuff.
That's why you're so hungry. You're carrying around an armory with you at any time.
I didn't even notice this, but under equipment it says I have rations. So I just had food in my pocket while I've been ransacking the kitchen.
You would do
I
that
brought the
anyway.
fishing tackle, apparently.
See? You guys have everything you need to go.
I
So,
was going to throw my javelins at a fish. That's all.
and can I actually see your character sheet? Because character sheets are all like organized differently, and so I need to know how they've done it so that I know what you guys would do when it comes to attacking. Okay. Doop, 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 doop. Oh! By the way, you have spells too. Oh, you're an Eldritch Knight, that's why. Okay. There are some fighters who have spells. Okay, that's fascinating. Good to know. We'll get to that in a second. Alright, cool. So, fighters, you should have on this gray section an actions segment. And it says under there attack. And it gives you the 2 types of weapons you normally use the most when you're attacking. So, when we use a weapon attack, we'll get back to it. But for you, for your Eldritch Blast, I think it says for your Eldritch Blast, a plus something.
+5 to hit?
Yes. So that means when you attack with the Eldritch Blast, you'll roll a d20 and you'll add a 5 to the number.
What am I trying to beat?
I will tell you if you beat it or not.
Alright. Does a 13... No, sorry, 12.
In fact, it does hit. So you do hit the lock.
So I roll 1d10 +3.
Yeah. So the first roll he did, is to see, is he able to hit the thing that he was aiming at with his spell or with a weapon? Because first you got to figure out, do you hit the thing or not? You could just completely miss, or they could dodge out of your way. So that's the first roll. The second roll he's going to do, now that I have given him confirmation that he did manage to hit the lock, he now is going to roll how much damage he did with his hit. So for you, it's a D10. And then do you add anything to the D10?
Yeah, +3.
Perfect. All right, go ahead. Roll a D10 and +3.
0 +3.
3. Okay.
Is that 0 or 10?
It's a
It's a 0.
It is a 0.
Oh, wait. No. There are no zeros on dice. That's a 10. All dice start at 1.
Okay.
The minimum you can roll is a 1. And then you can, of course, subtract 1 or whatever and go into the negatives. So, yes, you're a 10.
That's a
a 13.
print choice.
Yeah.
Just put a 0. Okay. 13.
All
I
right,
didn't even
13.
question it. That dice shouldn't index starting from 0.
Yeah.
I'm-
Poor guy with background.
There is people who make dice that start at 0. And
It's cruel.
I don't pay, I don't pay attention to, like, other people's dice. So, even though that's one of my dice sets, I have so many, I don't know which ones are which all the time. But no, I think these are all standard dice and they should start at 1. So, you're good. So let me really quickly look up how much damage this lock can take.
There's stats for them.
There are. People make stats for everything.
It'd be interesting if the padlock could take a hit, but the door it was locking could not. So the Eldritch Blast does nothing to the lock, but the door under it explodes. It's just like a cartoon. The padlock stays there for a second and then falls.
I mean, one's made of metal, one's made of wood. Like, the door actually might be a little bit easier to break. I didn't think about that.
Is Eldritch Blast a fire type move?
No, but I do have a fire bolt.
Okay, so,
Yes,
you,
that's
in
sconces.
fact,
True.
this is a metal padlock. You are able to scorch it and basically ruin the mechanism inside of it. So you don't completely break the lock, but you brute force your way through it enough that you can now yank it off,
Oh,
yank the padlock off.
great.
So you do get the door
I thought
unlocked.
you were saying that you just broke the lock, so now you can't even.
Yeah, that's what I thought
melted
that was.
into a perfect hunk of metal.
So
That would have been a natural one.
that is, so the thing is, Eldritch Blast in particular is a force type damage. Like, so when you do damage, you can do different types of damage. So think like a sword or a rapier, they usually do like slashing damage because they slash across your skin. Or you can do like stabbing with a dagger. You can stab somebody, you stab into skin. And then there's elemental types too. So fire, you can do a fire damage. Eldritch Blast is in fact force damage, so it's a pushing force. Kind of like if you get pushed back by a big blast of air or something. So that's why he can break the mechanism. If he'd used fire and done that amount of damage, he probably would have melted the mechanism. And then you would have had the issue of you might not be able to open it because he melted the metal lock. So these are the kinds of things that, as a DM, I'm used to people doing, so I remember and kind of, I can imagine in my head what's going to happen.
So, like, theoretically speaking, let's say
Yes.
you do ice damage, you could freeze the lock to the point that you just, like, tap on it and it shatters.
That is entirely possible for metal locks. But if you did that to, say, something made of not normal metals, or a lock that's more, like, I don't know if that would really happen, like made of leather or something, the ice wouldn't really help.
Okay.
Well, since I accidentally chose the right damage type, I take the lock off and lift the trapdoor.
Okay, trap door lifts. You guys both get an immediate burst of gross, kind of stinky dungeon air. And it is like, almost like something is going rotten down there. And it's pitch black.
I didn't do it.
Can I prestidigitation a light source and drop it in?
Try to see how big of a light prestidigitation can make.
It says I can like snuff out or light a candle, you
Okay.
know, like, or a bonfire even.
Okay. So you can set some dim light down there, yes.
Yeah.
You
I
kind
can
of.
see in the dark, right?
Huh?
We can both see in the dark, but when it's pitch dark, it's like just grayscale. Like a little context might be like color context.
Makes sense. So you'll drop like a little like small light down there. It does that thing where it falls for a while and then it lands. Sounds like it lands on stone. Can't really see. I mean, it gave you a little bit of dimness. You can see the floor. You guys could make it down there. It's not like you would, fall down a deep pit, but not really sure.
And
What else
nothing
is down
like
there?
reacted to the light going down.
Nothing immediately.
I don't want to go down there.
Back it on up.
Alright, I guess I'll close the trapdoor and say,
Be like, okay.
not doing that. Just say, look at you and say, you want to go back up?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
All right, you guys are gonna come back up and meet in the central area where your cleric friend is already here. Alrighty, upstairs. You were in a bedroom.
Doesn't seem terribly useful.
Huh?
The bedroom doesn't seem terribly useful, so maybe I just go in the next dark door.
Okay, next
poke
door.
around.
Just going through everyone's stuff.
So, you are in what looks like a library. There are shelves all around. These, like those big leather wing-back chairs, kind of settled in corners with little lamps. The lamps are not lit, but little tables and lamps around them. There is a large set of double windows on the far wall. Seems the same visual as what you saw before. And yeah, books everywhere and nice plush rugs.
Any particularly interesting books?
Okay, let me see what kind of books there are. Most of the books have a pretty variety. There's tomes on history, treatises on how to run a business, some folk tales, some maybe large novels. There's an entire section about like arcane stuff.
Guys.
Hello.
You're here.
How you
Funny.
doing?
I was telling Angela, Karen and Jessica will be here in a little while, and you're like right here.
Nice.
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Is this the newbie Dungeons and Dragons? Yay! Oh my god. Are you learning?
Yeah, we're on a campaign.
I don't think I could learn, but I'll watch.
It's super easy. Trust me.
Yeah, that's fine.
They managed to open a hatch to a deep dark pit and then immediately closed it.
Oh. I don't know what that
Survival instincts.
means. Is that good or bad?
Well, it's good we didn't go in with it, I guess.
Yeah, unless there's bats in there. Karen's a big bat fan. Has she not dropped like facts yet?
No, not
She has a bat for Halloween. So cute.
It
Awesome.
hasn't come into play when we're on the floor.
Sneak some facts.
When's yoga coming out?
Yeah, yoga's at 3.
3, okay.
Super excited.
Yes. So Kelly's doing in-person yoga to help us all stay stretched.
And virtual.
And virtual, that's right, because you are putting it up. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then she was like, log out and log back in. Thanks, IT support. And then it worked.
Right.
Turning it off
That's
and on.
fantastic.
That's amazing.
Anyway, I was just telling them I made some cookies. If you guys want any, I know everybody baked and brought tons of stuff, but I can do a pitch for what I made. You get non-dairy, except for the chocolate chips, oatmeal chocolate chip with coconut oil
Ooh,
cookies.
exciting.
And then there's a molasses with ginger and clove, flat like bar kind of cookie, and then a caramel cookie. Yay! Donation!
I think they're excited about cookies.
I'll just keep saying it. Cookies, 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 cookies. No, it's not working. But anyway.
Molasses sounds awesome. I don't
Yeah.
think I've had a molasses and ginger.
Oh yeah, they're yummy.
All right.
We haven't gone far. Grab a sheet of paper and a character.
If you want to join
You haven't gone far?
in
in the group, go find a character. I can find a way to build you in. Don't worry.
the cobalt.
Also a possibility.
So did I Did I notice him disappear that way and then suddenly appear next to me?
You watched the entire thing happen, so you saw that whole like he went down just around your sight, and then boom, back on land, fully dry.
All in the nick of time to finish my drink.
Are you sure it's okay?
Of course, it's okay.
I'm so late.
You're fine.
I'm wondering what's going on.
I'm gonna make a little room for you.
That's not normal.
So I didn't read everything about this character. Am I supposed to read it all and memorize it and like,
No.
know him?
I'll tell you.
We will be quizzing you.
All I know is he's Oath of Vengeance, but also chaotic good. So he's very like dual personality, like I can be sometimes. So
Okay.
I feel like it fits.
So I will give you a little overview of what your character is. then,
Okay.
Now that I know. So you are so that first part of your thing right there, half orc, means you're half human, half orcish. So you're bigger than most folks.
Okay.
Buff.
Yes.
Usually very little hair. And just slightly. And you've got some big old canine teeth. Better fighting ability and a little bit of magic
Okay.
to help you enact your vengeance in the world.
Okay.
So I'm gonna bring you in a sec.
Oh sure. Take your time.
Cool.
So he doesn't look like it.
No, I didn't have an orc design.
Oh. Okay.
So you don't have to be. You
I
can
want to
be
learn
sheep.
Dungeons and Dragons. That's what this is, right? Mm-hmm. I said to Jess, "Do you want to learn Dungeons and Dragons? There's like a newbie game." She's like, "Oh, I know how to play Dungeons and Dragons."
I love it. Oh, by the way, I do need to show you guys later. On that table, we have printed out trophies for different things.
Oh,
So there's a trivia for trivia. There are trophies for trivia winners,
nice.
and Beat Saber and all that stuff.